What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a trilogy, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you stop what you're doing and go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. We're not at full strength, running a little bit of 3-on-3, but also make sure you go follow our brother at Shine Hard Izzo. Stay up to date with him. I want to say, yeah, that's on Instagram, Twitter. He don't really do Facebook, but make sure you go follow our brother at Shine Hard Izzo. We're gonna hold it down for him tonight in his absence.
Okay, Big Brother Iron Man.
Big brother Iron Man, so reporting to duty.
Yo, it is the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know. Be sure to go check out Talkin Smoke or Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I still get a little bit of residuals from that there. So let's go.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is I, the one and only Sedacious Miles, and on behalf of me and my brothers, I want to say thank you so much for kicking it with us. Thank you so much for supporting us and loving on us. We really appreciate it. You can go follow me at I am Sedacious at Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Take it away, bro.
Yo, you be getting residuals from Talking Smoke?
Yeah, man. I mean, there you go see the episodes right now. Regardless, I still get a view, and that view equals compensation.
Money. Yeah, it equals points. Cents.
Well, no,
We
yeah,
need
that's that's what I'm asking. Like, have you got a check mailed to you yet on Talking Smoke?
Check no, but a deposit, yeah. Little small little deposits.
Hey, yo,
Little something.
That's huge, bro.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you kept that one, bro. That's huge. I don't care if it was a penny, bro. That's hard, dog. That's hard, bro. Congratulations.
Bro,
Appreciate it.
We got the podcast everywhere else.
Huh?
We got the podcast everywhere else. Because if we have the podcast on Apple Music, there should be somewhere on Apple Music where you can go, and there should be some 15 cents that we done racked up from views.
That's possible. Maybe. It's definitely on Apple Podcasts. It's on Apple, Spotify.
Yeah. Because when we say wherever you can go get a podcast,
we literally mean
places,
it.
if they go listen, you know what I'm saying? We got some money somewhere in the back office that we just don't care about because we grinding.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have to check the books on that one, man. But nah, man, triple salute to Black Peace, man, and everybody supporting the Talking Smoke podcast, man. Straight up. Definitely. Man, I'm excited. That caught me off guard. I'm happy for you, my brother. After giving Black Peace and the Talking Smoke podcast his respect, the uniqueness about this podcast and its title and talking about respecting the game is that one, the respect that we give someone for them respecting the game doesn't necessarily have to be in the arena or the game doesn't have to necessarily be in the arena of athleticism or sports. It could be, a variety of different careers or fields. However, as we kick off this week's episode and talking about who we're paying our respects to because how they have respected the game and their hard work and their grind and their dedication has just been an absolute result of how their career has been unfolding, makes the title of our podcast so sweet when we talk about respecting the game. And we're going to kick the episode off talking about none other than my favorite player in the NBA, my favorite player before anybody gave him respect, my favorite player before anybody knew who he was. He was under the radar. I called him out to be elite coming in as a rookie. And you know how Kobe Bryant is either Kobe Bryant is your pillar or Jordan is your pillar or LeBron is your pillar. And you got that one, or Steph is your pillar or KD, but you got that one player next to in the tuck that's near and dear to you that also makes up your spirit animal or your DNA of how you try to go about accomplishing your goals based off how you see their work ethic and how they go about attacking and doing their thing on the court, football field, so forth. Kobe is my done daughter. But as I seen the end coming, and I knew my dog wasn't gonna be able to play forever, it's just like who else is gonna be like my motivation, my muse? Who else am I going to gravitate towards as a basketball player? I found that player to be Damian Lillard. Uh, and it's just been beautiful to know that I was right all this time. I was never wrong about Damian Lillard. Um, I think the only people who respected him or saw something in him was probably everybody in Portland, uh, everybody in Oakland, where he's from, everybody out there in the Weber State area, and myself. Yeah, I'm going to take full credit for that. But nah, man, Dame just dropped a historical game against the Houston Rockets. In no way, shape, or form am I feeling some type of way about it because he did it against the home team.
He hates
I fully right when you think about him sending the Rockets home in the playoffs, yeah. With the game winner, yeah. But no, Damian Lillard dropped 71 points against the Houston Rockets. And this is we're shooting this podcast on February 28th, the last day of the month of February. Damian Lillard averaged 40 points per game. Not 39.8, so we rounded it. No, he averaged 40 points per game on the nose in the month of February, in addition to having that 71-point game against the Houston Rockets. On top of that, he had 41 in the first half of the game. There's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to completely dominate the conversation right now. But so I'll, pour out some more stats as the conversation unfolds on Dame. 71-point game performance. Fellas, what was y'all takeaway? How do y'all view Dame, or how has this changed y'all perspective on Dame's career, his legacy, any way, shape, form, or fashion? Have y'all been fans? Are y'all new fans? Are y'all now on the bandwagon? Just like, what do y'all take away from their breathtaking performance?
I'm gonna say that Damian Lillard's talent has always been a no-brainer. It's always been evident that he has an elite game. Um, so not taken away from his historic night, I'm saying, you definitely got to put respect on that. But where I go, just kind of playing devil's advocate a little bit is, he's only got so many more games to do Dame time stuff before we trying to figure out what he gonna do in the playoffs. So love it for Dame, but I really would hate to see his career going into like a Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley type of, where it's like you was good, you was elite, but you ain't get, iron, you ain't get no gold. So that's ultimately with his talent, I feel like before he exits, and don't get me wrong, not to take away from the game, like I love it, but I would love to see these performances in deep runs in the playoffs. And that's all. But yeah, gotta respect 71 points. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to see, do you just want to see a championship, or do you just want to see a deep run? Because, and that's not necessarily Dame. Like, guys can have deep consecutive runs, but then the conversation ain't gonna be he keeps getting to the conference finals. He keeps getting considered like
right. See, for me, Dame getting deep in the playoffs means Dame has a team to win a championship. That's just how I feel. Because if you get him deep enough, the whole NBA is effed. Because now you got, that DNA on you. You done scratch and clawed all the way to a championship game, a championship series. Let's hope so. I'm hoping that Father Time, could sway to where he's not waiting too long to get into at least an NBA Finals. because he deserves it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but AI wasn't scoring 71 points. Charles Barkley wasn't scoring 71 points. You know what I mean? So this would be something major if he come out of this and we can't get no goal out of this, man. And for me, I F with him because of you, because I know you've been following him for a long time. So he was like, I ain't gotta follow him, I ain't gotta keep up with him because I know Edward gonna make sure we know what he doing, what's going on. And then
Allen
you had Darnell.
Iverson. Allen Iverson career high in points is 60.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
Charles Barkley career high is 47. That's crazy when you think about it. Like Charles never had a 50-point game. That's crazy.
but I remember the one time you and Darnell were because he was going with he was going with the Nuggets and you was going with the Blazers. And it was, it's just cool to see. You know what I mean? You really riding for your guy. And I had to take a step back because I'm like, no, I got to ride with Darnell on this one, but not in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't going against Dame. I ain't going against Dame.
I mean, at least how I feel about it. I feel like, okay, let me ask you a question real quick. You right in front of the computer, I feel like. How long did it take for Jordan to actually get his championship, his first one? Like, how many years pro?
8 years in.
Where is Dame at?
This is Dame's 11th year in the league.
Okay. With the way that the league is done, to me, this is likely equivalent to an 8th year back then. Just the way that the athletes are, the way the game is, it's kind of equivalent, okay? I say that to say, at that time, like, people just had to be really convinced that Jordan was that guy in order to, like, make things happen and make those crazy moves. I feel like right now, people will always felt like, okay, is Dame this? Is he that? Like, is it because he had a decent little team around him? Was it McCollum? Was it Aldridge? Was it what's making Dame so wonderful? And at the end of the day, like, that game right there should shut down any naysayers, anybody that think he's not great, anybody think he's not good, anybody think he's not championship caliber. He is the guy. Only thing is, one guy can only go so far. We always say Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant had to get his whole team in sync, which is not an easy task. And not saying that Dame can do it, but that's just it's a miracle when it happens that way. If it makes any sense, like I said, being a leader only goes so far, and you can't. It's only so much you can do. So with that being said, I think Damian Lillard has truly accepted the fact that championship isn't going to happen by himself. So what he's doing is focusing on his individual accolades, not selfishly, but just with the cards that he's dealt. He's like, you know what? If I got to put up this many points, show my greatness, I'll do that. Me worrying about a championship, that's not right now. I need to worry about just making sure my legacy doesn't get flawed. But because you did say that there are players that get like that little championship thing rung over them, there's a lot of players that don't. I wish I would have made a list of them. I should have made a list of the players, but there are a lot of great players that have been great in the NBA. And at the end of the day, even though they have not won a championship, their legacy has not quite been as flawed as much as you would think. Because at the end of the day, like, you look back at the record and it's just like, bro, it just wasn't there. Charles Barkley gets ridiculed because he had a hell of a team. He had like a pretty decent team around him, or at least he had Kevin Johnson in his prime. Yeah, Kevin Johnson, right? Number 7.
Oh yeah,
him in his prime.
but Charles attests to the fact that when they did make it to the finals and they went against the Bulls, Charles attests to the fact that that's the only time in his career where he acknowledged to himself, like, that man is better than me, and that being Michael Jordan.
And it's just to conclude that, like, it shows you, like, bro, he went against the best man there is. So, like, people like to ridicule him about him, but I think it's more of like a pick and choose. People pick and choose who they want to ridicule. People really don't ridicule AI for not having a championship. They really don't.
He's loved like he has multiple. He's loved as if he has multiple.
Really, like that. They know it's a fact, but they really don't hang it over. And I was saying, got no ships. That conversation doesn't come up often. It may dangle
Can we
in
say
here and
that
there, but it doesn't come
AI
up often.
revolutionized the game, though? You know, he revolutionized the game.
One
When you
That's
do
thousand
what
that,
percent.
Dame has it. Dame has definitely revolutionized the game for the way he is just knowing that you have a guy on the court that can, in clutch times, bang that shot 90% of the time.
I don't
Probably
think
is ridiculous.
I don't think Dame will get any type of like revolutionize the game, because when you use the word revolutionize, I think of doing something we've never seen before, right?
Breaking
Hey,
the amount of clutch shots is what I mean.
Kobe's does that. Kobe's done that an numerous amounts of times. Jordan has
But
done
the
that an
level, but
numerous amounts of time. Like you know what
stage scenario, like being at a small budget, like he's doing what he said in the interview. He's trying to give hope to being loyal no matter what market that you're in. And he's giving hope to those franchises and those players. So what if you get drafted to
but think
the
about loyalty though, right? So it's like even if Dame was to win it, that don't necessarily make him the poster child for loyalty, so to speak. Like look at Dirt. Like look at Dirt. Look at
But
Dirt.
he's never been vocal about it. That's the thing. Dirk was quiet. He kept it quiet. He didn't make a big deal about it. He may have said one or two things, but Dame has made this a staple to like with him in as a personality. Like I'm never going back, and y'all some hoes for, going back. That's how he feels about it. Like can't say hey he's clapped back at many of super teams over the years, the last 5 years. Like as soon as they get a super team, he always has a comment about it. And it's nothing against him, but he's always made a thing like, no, loyalty. Kobe even didn't even say nothing about it. Even when the Celtics got together, he never said nothing about it. He just kept playing ball, which is respectable. But like for him to like kind of extra stand on it, I feel like, bro, like that's really saying like don't just be loyal, stand up with your chest out on your loyalty.
Yeah, so and talking about loyalty, one, Kobe did once upon a time want to leave, one, and two, through the a myriad of interviews that comes out about Kobe behind the scenes, Kobe was actively recruiting his ass off in the off season. He may have not have like portrayed that on the court, but like he wanted Rajah Bell on his team, believe it or not. Like he tried to recruit Rajah Bell. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I
he
mean,
recruited one.
Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? So but I understand what you're saying. Like if he went, being a poster child of like loyalty, and Dame kind of trying to push this narrative of like, yo, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. So
In a small market.
in a small market, right? So there's that. So I'm gonna stay here for a little while longer. Um, where did I want to go with the Dame conversation? Uh, let's just keep talking about his greatness. All right, so and then
Drug
he
tested this man.
right after the 71-point game in his 11th season, 11-year career, Dame has been a more than half his career. He's been a all-star, all-star, and/or all NBA team selection player. So in his 11th season, Dame is a 7-time all-star and been named all NBA 6 times. He was 2012-13 unanimous rookie of the year. You talk about, Dacius, you brought up like how far is he going to go, like in the playoffs, like what type of team does he have? The only all-star Damian Lillard has played alongside, and mind you, he's been in the league 11 years. He's been to the playoffs 8 times. So that shows a consistency in winning. And the only all-star he's had to compliment him, and that was only in his first 2 playoff appearances, is LaMarcus Aldridge. So those other 6 playoff appearances is Damian Lillard
Dragging Nicholas Batum, Zach Collins, dragging
carrying
all.
like profusely, like carrying the load. Furthermore, right, Dame, thinking about how great of a scorer he is, Dame hasn't reached the 20,000 career points mark yet. He currently sits at 19,000. I told you February, the month of February here in this season, he averaged 40. Dame's playoff career high is 55 points in the playoffs, and his regular season career high, obviously, it just happened, is 71. Right. I don't know who else is in this ilk, but with a span of 50 plus point games, Dame has had 50 plus point games for 6 consecutive seasons throughout his career from 2014 through 2020. So from 2014, I want to say that's his second or third year in the league. He's consistently each season gave you a 50 ball or more, right? And here is, and I'm gonna just here's this. Here's Damian Lillard's 15 highest scoring point games in his career. The top 15. 71, 61, 61, 60, 60, 59, 51, 51, 51, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And this isn't even prisoner of the moment, right? Because you could be like, oh, 71, great, cool, bet, go on. In Dame's career, Dame has averaged 25 points in his career. He's averaging 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists throughout his entire career. And we already know what type of Dame time it is when the playoffs hit, but he's maintained that level of consistency throughout the regular season of averaging 25, 4, and 6. So even when the pressure is on in the playoffs and teams are devout to try to stop you and defend you, he still gives you consistent production across the board. A top 75 player, but I don't know how much you really want to put stock in that, considering players like Tracy McGrady were the name to that.
Whatever he got in there. as far as talking about his greatness go, let's not. He's in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I mean, Dame has had 12 playoff series. Unfortunately, he's 4-8, but he has the consistency, and the only all-stars he has had to compliment him in the playoff series is LaMarcus Aldridge. Nobody else. Like, what do you want a man to do?
I just thought about this, bro. Tracy McGrady's resume, though he was great, Tracy McGrady's resume does not even amount to half of what you just read off, bro.
You feel that in your soul right now? Because I knee jerk want to just go look at the stats, but do you feel that in your soul right now?
You just said 15-point game. Go look at Tracy McGrady's highest scoring 15-point games. Go look at how many times he made the All-Star. Go look at how many All-Stars he's played with. Yao Ming is one. Right? So, because I'm like, Tracy McGrady, like that's a prisoner of time, of an era, right? Because Tracy McGrady can't edge the numbers because Kobe's too busy edging the numbers. And I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, and I love T-Mac. Love T-Mac. But I'm like, nah. Because his injuries alone wouldn't allow him to put up those kind of numbers. 15 games.
Bro, Tracy McGrady only averaged 19 points in his career. That sounds crazy.
That's the Detroit and San Antonio days kicking in.
That's what I'm finna say. His whole career, that means them last days brought him down, cut his average. I know one year he had the scoring title. Or did he? Oh, was it the scoring title?
It may have been his last year in Orlando when he was averaging 28. Maybe that was the year.
Right. So, that was just a little example, bro. And I'm pretty sure that there are many other players who people want to put up against Dame in the
Yeah.
top 75. And it's like, okay, well, when we look at it on paper now, are you just
McGrady
going with emotion?
McGrady's only 62, 52, 51, 50. And then after that, it tails off into the 40s in terms of his top high scoring games.
And this man not even done playing basketball yet. Come on, guys, let's talk about something.
And let's talk about this, right? I watched a great interview with him this past weekend. This is prior to, I want to say, the 71 point game. Uh, I want to say I watched this before he dropped 71. Maybe it was after. Um, but I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, in that interview, he was saying he'll give it to Steph as the top shooter of all, the best shooter of all time. But he says after Steph, who else is scoring like I'm scoring, shooting the ball the way I'm shooting the ball? Like who else is taking as tough as contested shots, especially 3-pointers, like Steph, as opposed to me? Like other
So if
guys,
Steph Curry wasn't in the league right now, Damian Lillard would be that guy for long range, always pulling long range. No one is gonna go in. I think Steph was like, you know what, Dame is gaining on me. Let me shoot this hole and run away. If I start shooting and run away, I'll still have an edge on Dame. I feel like that's what Steph started doing. Because it's not nothing that he can't do that Steph can't do, that Dame can't do for real, and what he doing now is shooting it and running down the court.
yeah, man. With his
I know how big a Curry fan I am, and I had to give it up, man. I had to give it up. I can't look at Damian Lillard and be like, "Oh, Steph's still better." You know what I mean? Like you can't just.
Yeah, you can't say that passively. Obviously, if Dame had the hardware, you'd hope or had a better team or equivalent team as Steph has been able to have, and you could like try to measure them up. But no, man. My dog Dame Dollar, my boy Damian Lillard. The stars are going to align, and me and you are going to be able to sit down and have a great conversation. Um, one day. Um, I'll leave y'all with this. I'll leave y'all with this about Dame. I'm not sure how many people know this, but when you think about how you when you think about how your childhood experiences shaped and molded you and your mindset as an adult, I think this story is very telling to how Damian Lillard goes about his loyalty, even till today in the NBA, and why he's not trying to run and join a super team or team up or and leave Portland. So there came a point in time in Damian Lillard's high school career. This is AAU ball. At the AAU circuit, you got the super teams, all the top prospects, top ESPN 100 players. They all spread out all over the country. The Nike, the Adidas guys, or whatever. They all in Vegas, everywhere. Jordan Brand, Nike, EYBL, and they don't have to do no fundraising. They good. They money's made. They mama ain't got to worry about Nathaniel. They flying all throughout the summer. Money's good. Dame unfortunately happened to be on the team where they had to go sell cookies on the block to find out how they was gonna get to Vegas to compete against guys, right? So powerhouse AAU team and Dame's community, the coaches was trying to recruit Dame like, yo, bro, forget all that. Yeah, y'all working too hard just to get a pair of shoes. Like, come over here with us, and like we gonna take care of you. That wasn't how Dane was built. Like he came up with who he came up with. The coaches, his homeboys was on the AAU circuit, who he was on the AAU circuit with, and they, continued to grind and whatever the case may be. So Dame didn't fold to just go with the AAU team who had everything, to have the easier route. So as time will have it, the summer progresses, and lo and behold, they come into a tournament, and what happens? Damian Lillard and his partners who have to, hustle to get all their travel money for the AAU season ended up facing the team that was trying to recruit him, who was souped up with everything, all the gear and stuff, in the tournament. And as fate would have it, Damian Lillard and his team ended up beating them. right? And so ever since I heard that story, I feel like it gave me a whole bunch of insight into like the way Dame's brain, to a degree, calibrates. Probably not that deep, but the way his brain calibrates and how he went about going to Weber State, small time school, right? It's not as big as your other, globally, nationwide known schools and at the Division I level. And when teams were finally starting to, Dame was finally starting to get a buzz, and teams was like, yo, Dame, trying to holler at Dame. Dame remained loyal to the soil because he had truly already built a relationship and a rapport with the coaches at Weber State. And so it was just like, no, I'm not just trying to go jump and follow the trend of the Ohio States, the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the so on and so forth. Hey, this is where I'm comfortable at. This is who was actually with me from the beginning, leaving high school, gave me a chance. This is where I'm gonna go. And in that, right, a lot of people don't like you crazy, but within that, Dame became a lottery pick, right? And here we are in Portland. Everybody is trying to wonder, why is Dame so loyal? Why would he not leave? It's like, bro, if you just look at his track record and like look at the history of the decision, he's always made the decision of loyalty. He's never been routed or moved by, always being psyched out, so to speak, of believing that the grass is green on the other side. So triple salute to you, Dame. You've always been my favorite player in the NBA outside of Kobe. And we shall meet soon, man. We shall meet soon. If y'all love me, my birthday's coming up. I'll definitely take a Dame autograph jersey or like some type of like Dame frame 71 merchandise. But yeah, man. Yeah. All right. Shout out to Dame for
I want to
respecting the
say
game.
before we, I want to say this before we move. You crazy if you think them people in Portland in the front office don't know what they got and eventually gonna find a way to sell their mama's TV to get him some help. I'm trying to tell you.
I don't have faith in the front office. I respect Dame's loyalty and I believe in Dame, but I don't have faith in the front office because I think at the end of the day, it's a business. And regardless if you get Damian Lillard help or not, you have Damian Lillard, which will always sell tickets and bring you in profit. Uh, but that's my piece on the organizational side. Uh, but yeah, man.
So
All
use
right.
the
Huh?
profit. I'm like, so use the profit.
Nah, man. Moving forward. Still in the
Stay with
NBA.
basketball, guys.
I didn't get that. The internet isn't reachable.
Moving forward with basketball. As they would say at times, all good jokes uh contain a little truth. Contain just
truth. So now we're moving on to my boy, the freak. Bro, he's not no Damian Lillard for me. He still got LeBron, Steph, and then my boy right there, big old Giannis, the freak. My boy, trying to tell y'all. Go ahead. So, I'm gonna let you bring in the segment.
Okay, so Giannis was on the Daily Show, and they had him reading off the prompter a few jokes that were preferenced. And so I'll play a short clip of it, and then I'll let us talk about it. Then I'll play the other half because there's a partial theme to this episode and making sure that both sides are heard.
So let's keep going. Let's keep giving these people this work. Kevin Durant, let's go. You keep joining super teams to win an NBA title. How about we work out together sometime so I can teach you how to carry your own team? Oh!
Yeah, man. So, yeah, they had Giannis making jokes. He even told the Joker, Jokic, you look like you can barely get through a drive-through at Burger King. What makes you think you're going to be able to reach the NBA Finals? Something to that effect. But as it relates to Kevin Durant, I know that's your boy, Sedacious. I don't know, like no harm, no foul type of joke, or
yeah, no, I think my boy is coming in his own as the new king of the NBA. I think he's starting to feel himself. But this was just TV. This was just for entertainment. This was really just for kicks and giggles. That's why. After that, he's like, "Where's the real camera at? KD, I respect your game." You know what I mean? Because the NBA is a fraternity. We know that, just like the NFL, NHL, and all that other stuff. So those guys are really brothers. They don't really like. You'll know if there's real feud in the NBA because it'll come out every game. Like Reggie and Kobe, like it's got to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like Isaiah and Jordan, it's gonna come out. This NBA ain't really like that no more. Everybody's kind of like banding together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, it didn't work out with me and him, so let me go over here with him and see how I do, right? James Harden. But anyway, yeah, Giannis is coming into his own. And I want to say this to Bam Adebayo, bro, you're about 2 years late because I said this a long time ago. Giannis is the new king of the NBA. I said this around the same time that I was saying that Chris Middleton was deadly. So he's just coming into his own, man. LeBron's on his way out. Steph Curry will be halfway through the door too. And my boy is he's gonna reign supreme. I can't wait till it's either a Portland Trailblazers or a Milwaukee Bucks championships. Because that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, all good jokes got truth to it. And I'm not gonna say that KD can't lead a team. I'm gonna just say we haven't seen it yet.
Show you how to carry a team, and just to erase the clickbaitism of social media. Here's like that full clip in totality.
Let's keep going. Let's keep giving these people this work. Kevin Durant, let's go.
You keep joining super teams to win the NBA title. How about we work out together sometime so I can teach you how to carry your own team?
Oh! You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that one. It was like a little simpler.
KD, where's the camera?
Where's the camera?
KD, you're one of the best scorers to ever play this game. I respect your game. You know, you've led by example for 15 years. So you were my favorite player growing up.
I hate this.
And
entertain me.
I respect your game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's also retract that and show to Jokic. But entertainment is comedy, so it's kind of like a Saturday Night Live type of ordeal. Yeah,
exactly. It's spoofy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Giannis is that type of guy. He's a jokester. He's goofy. That's why I love him, because he goofy, but then he'll get on the. He ain't so goofy, so it's just like, hey, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you and Dame, I feel the same way. It's like, bro, like y'all underestimated me when Miami beat me out and boxed me in. Y'all said that I was done. Y'all was like, oh, he's typical. He figured out already. But then I came back and I drug my team, featuring Chris Middleton and Drew. Who's a Drew? Help me out. Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
Featuring them two and a couple of Brook Lopez's. And you're good. Yeah.
But what if I mean, I just think about that toe. Like, how much validity would that joke have if KD didn't have his foot on the line? Because yeesh. But nah, man. All right. So Crosby ISD ruled in favor starting next year to have a 4-day school break.
Right.
The reason they're doing this is because the school district they said about 40 there were 40 teachers short to start off the school year in their district. And they're trying to implement this 4-day week of school to entice more teachers to apply to their school district. I kick it to you first, Darnell. Love or hate this? Oh, what do you make of this? Only 4 days.
Respect or no respect?
Respect or no respect?
I mean, it's respectable, but it is like are the kids going to lose out? Are you going to be able to fit the actual curriculum, within those the other days that you have? That's the big thing. That also caters to, the parents' work schedule, stuff like that. I mean, it has to work both ways. I feel like I wonder if the actual school district took a vote from the parents themselves, or maybe people from the PTA or anything of that nature, because that's pretty dramatic. You know what I'm saying? It can work beneficial to a certain way because they can, some parents' jobs can, fluctuate for that extra day. But then again, like some of these, I mean, the curriculum. I mean, are they going to have longer school years based on that? Because
to that question real quick, and I'll let you finish. Don't know how the math adds up, but they said they plan to compensate for not going to school on that Friday to add 25 minutes to the normals to the regular to the other 4 days. So they'll just add 25 minutes onto the others the rest of the week each day, Monday through Thursday.
I feel like that's a little bit cutting the corners, man. In my opinion. I feel like should be some other options. Because in that way, I feel like the kids are losing. They're not getting enough of the actual. Now you're missing a whole. You're trying to divide up one whole day by it's not adding up. I don't like it.
Like you don't respect it, brother.
I don't respect it at all, honestly.
Hey, I don't respect it for the simple fact that you are trying to bait teachers. If I would have heard that they was like, if they started with, we just tired of these parents sending their kids back dumber than they left school, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Turn the heat up on the parents, right? But at the same time, who am I to talk, right? Because I don't have to go through that, right? So I can understand if, like Darnell, where it's just like, wait a minute, this world is supposed to be give and take, and it seemed like y'all trying to be lazy, you know what I'm saying? But no, I don't respect it from the fact that it seems like laziness. It seems like cop out ish. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, to piggyback off Darnell, the main goal is the kids, right? So if you're not saying that we're putting pressure on the parents for these kids, anything else is asinine. So no, I don't respect it. It sounds cool, and if you say that to a child who don't know no better, they will be like, "Ooh, 4 days," you know what I mean? But how it works out for the adults in a give and take world, that just seemed like some selfish ish. I'm just gonna be honest about it. And Crosby ain't all that minoritized, if that's a word. So you know them, you know how they do. So
Honestly, I feel like I'm better in favor of 2 more weeks of school. If you're gonna have that, maybe 2.5 more weeks of actual school. Because at the end of the day, is making sure they get all the knowledge they're supposed to get is the point. I know technology does advance things and makes things a little bit faster, but I mean, for one thing, it's also for one thing too. People forget school just is not just good for you to learn. It also trains you in the habit of being able to handle a 8-hour work load. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something you have to think about too. When you cut that, you're kind of handicapping these children to where, oh wow, 4 days. They're gonna be looking for that advantage of okay, less days, is not too bad. I did in school, so why should I have to do this many days? Exactly, man. It's people catch on to that kind of thing, So
I think also,
like I said, man, it's huh?
Sorry, what were you saying, bro?
No, man. Like I said, it's I just feel like they're gonna lose. It's too much of a handicap, So,
that's the way America is going. It's selfish. We live in a selfish America, so where you really can be like, hey, we finna cut these kids' days and they schooling just to appease you to come and deal with these mofos, right?
oh, it don't work for you, so we gotta do this.
We feel that this is better for the kids and their psyche and social social life and all of that to get a little bit of a break. They could have hit me with the mental health, bro, and I would have been like, oh, man, no problem. But like, yeah, nah, we gonna take 4 days because there ain't that many teachers, man, and you signed up for that. When it floods and when it storms and when it hurricanes in Houston, I still gotta go fix people's cable. I signed up for this. Like,
Nah,
yeah,
y'all,
man, you know,
we ain't doing no cable on Thursdays and Tuesdays. Nah, we ain't doing all that.
yeah,
No, it don't work
I'm
that
sorry.
way. You gotta be able to you gotta be able to work with means better than that. Hell, one suggestion, I would think in some extracurricular activities, get volunteers and go through a severe screening. I know it is about the safety of the children. You know, maybe for like
Volunteers?
classes like home ec, possibly even PE, because you know at the end of the day, they're not doing the high levels of PE they're supposed to be doing. They're going in doing jumping jacks, push-ups, and they're playing basketball or a light sport. Something I feel like a volunteer or somebody that can go through a intense screening, because like I said, the kid's safety isn't important, that you should be able to do. It should not take you to have a degree. It shouldn't take you to have so much, excellent schooling. I just feel like that's one option. You know, they say they run out of this. Sometimes they
You
have
forgot.
perfectly good teachers teaching PE. They have perfectly good teachers teaching home ec. I grew up and when I went to school, that's something we have to deal with. Like these teachers have great degrees, but they're like, you know what? Well, this is the only opportunity they had, so I'm stuck with this. I can't teach history. They got 3 history teachers that are supposedly better than me, so they got to push me down to this. You know, they got to operate and move it a little bit better than that.
So
I know to add, though, you forgot to say that niggas is in gym getting off on each other. That's what we pause. It used to be getting off back in the day. It used to be capping and all that other stuff.
Pause. Pause that all though.
We used to, what do you say now? We used to cap on each other because capping has changed.
Yeah,
A lot better.
we used to rank on each other.
I ain't never said that in my whole life.
You never said ranking?
I said
I
capping.
never said they ranking on each other. Like,
Oh, he said we capping on each other. I say that.
Kurt said you been in Atlanta too long. You talking about ranking?
Bro, what are you talking about? That was in Houston. I heard ranking. What
FaceTime.
are you talking about?
I was ranking on this thing.
We gonna fly your ass up.
Oh yeah,
Fire up.
each other ass up.
Well, I thought you was looking for like a politically correct word, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
So I posed that question to my fur brothers who are teachers, and one point that was made was that like, well for starters, I asked them, hey, Crosby ISD, they're talking about having a 4-day week. Teachers, what are y'all thoughts? I didn't tell them it was kind of like trying to incentivize more teachers to come on, but one perspective I got was just like, hey, it would really benefit the teachers to have like an extra day of like rest and prep. Also, it was also said that shorter school weeks, there are statistics that support shorter school weeks result in higher testing scores.
Hit me with that, bro. Hit me with that.
Then the other side of that argument was, if when you're thinking about the students to a degree, not everybody, well, for some parents who have to go to work, like school is like, i.e. daycare. So if you reduce the week and the students aren't going to school on a Friday, you could say, what is a parent to do if, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they kind of use school as a crutch for babysitting, right? As a replacement for babysitting. And what is there to be said about students who are, poor, living well below the poverty line, and like school is their means of like eating, you know what I'm saying? So those two perspectives were like brought up, but then you also think about students who school is an escape, from the streets and home and being homeless. Because you got kids in school who are homeless and like their only sense of like shelter is being at school for 8-10 hours a day. So I just wanted to throw that into the starting pot of the conversation.
They need child protective services then. Wait a minute, because I'm like, hold up. Unless we talk about high school, there should be no middle schoolers going to school and looking for shelter in school, and then on the streets in 8th grade. You know what I mean? Like but it be like that, especially in the hood.
Yeah,
we're talking about Crosby.
Right, Crosby.
We're talking about Crosby. You know what I mean? You never know. It'd be a 5th grader living alone. He done sold drugs and he a whole pimp in the hood by 5th grade. But we talk about Crosby. Stop it. But nah, man. Yeah, no. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I'm in between because both those points, right? But I'm saying this as someone who used to pay $800 a month for my child to go to school. You know, the Friday thing.
Am I still paying you a whole 800 for 5 days? But like, does that get cut back some?
Right. You know what I mean? It's like, because if that's the case, no, we go on 5 days, or we getting that discount happening, right?
Yeah.
If you try to hit me with the, well, we didn't tell you to have kids to send to school, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, touche, motherfucker. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do? Right. I was thinking that this world, you know, we just got along, you know, the money flowed. He bartends, I do cable, you do film, and they teach our kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all trying to get a discount? You know what I mean? Life is hard out here. Y'all throwing a monkey wrench and everything.
Everything?
Right.
Everything.
PTO going down. Next PTO meeting gonna be lit.
Grandparents teaching.
Why is the superintendent not here? Like,
nah,
you don't want to die.
So you know better.
Yeah, so that was I felt it was important in that situation to get both sides, right? Also talking about both sides. Last week we had the conversation about Brandon Miller, who had been taken into custody on allegedly being a part of the murder. Brandon Miller being a freshman basketball player, true freshman basketball player for Alabama Crimson Tide. He is a highly projected lottery pick to go into the NBA this upcoming NBA draft. And when he had a teammate who had a gun, was firing the gun off, I guess you could say, irresponsibly, or maybe with intent to be shooting back at someone at a party. A bullet ends up hitting a young lady. She ends up dying. When that took place last week, Brandon Miller came into the situation as being somebody who had something to do with the murder, and it was appearing that he was going to be charged with capital murder, as his teammate Darius Miles was charged with capital murder. So that's the headline, big gaping headline last week, right? 1 second, people. Jesus Christ. Wow.
I better stop playing with the Miles boys.
Oh, I'm back. So that's the
I'm
big,
nice. I better stop playing with them.
That's the big gaping story last week, right? Darius Miles, he's going to jail. He committed murder. He there's another guy involved, but originally it was stated that Darius Miles called Darius Miller. Forgive me. Darius Miles called Brandon Miller and said, "Yo, bring me my gun." Right? Yeah, I read that. And it appeared that Brandon Miller took his went to go get a gun from wherever and brought it to Darius Miles. That was the story. And that's why it appeared that Brandon Miller was being indicted on that murder charge. That was what was printed last week. And it's important to come back now as the story has changed because since that happened, Brandon Miller has since then been let go. No charges have been put against him. And he has continued to go on his college basketball collegiate career, continuing to play. He hasn't been suspended from the team or anything of that like. In these situations, you only get the misprint is a lot bigger than the apology of saying no, that was false information. And so we definitely want to be responsible with our platform and make sure that just as easily as we could have been like, he going to jail, he did it forever.
We ridicule the sheesh out of it.
To make sure we also come back and say, no, that wasn't the case. He was found to not even be able to be, there was found to not be enough evidence to charge Brandon Miller in this case. And Darius Miller and the other gentleman that was involved are taking that charge all by their lonesome. Now, again, it was stated last week that it was said that Darius hit up Brandon to bring him the strap and for Darius to do whatever he did. But now the story has reversed to, and the reason Brandon Miller is getting off is because his lawyer made claims that like, hey, Brandon had no knowledge that Darius was going to do what he did. One, so bring me my gun. Okay, I guess it's not mine. I'll bring you a gun. But Brandon Miller didn't bring him his gun with the intent to like, yeah, here you go handle that. So that's one piece of the puzzle that detaches Brandon Miller from being indicted into the murder charge. That's one. Two, like I said, there was another young man by the name of Michael Davis who was in the situation, and Michael Davis and Darius Miller were the ones who were involved with the gun, and they were involved with the gun. The articles are saying Brandon didn't have to go get the gun. They was going to a party or whatever, and the gun was already in the car, but Brandon didn't know the gun was in the car. Only Darius Miles and Michael Davis knew the gun was in the car, and they just so happened to be in Brandon Miller's car, which initially made it seem like Brandon Miller had something to do with it, but he had no knowledge of a gun being present. He didn't touch a gun, the gun that was used to kill a young lady, and he was just oblivious to the fact, innocent bystander, so to speak, or guilty by association at that particular point in time. And so that's the case of Brandon Miller. Again, true freshman basketball player for the Alabama Crimson Tide, projected NBA lottery draft pick this upcoming NBA draft. And so still a message to take from that, right? For everybody involved, just be mindful. I know he it said that he didn't know what was going on. You just got to be mindful these days, man, especially when you're somebody like him and your future is only like a few collegiate basketball games away from, cashing out. Just be mindful who you got in your circle and the people you're involving yourself with and like the places and positions you're putting yourself in, man. But yeah, you heard it from the Respect the Game podcast. A lot of people threw Brandon Miller under the bus, called him every name under the sun, and how he threw his life away. But you heard it here from the Respect the Game podcast that he is not being indicted. He is no longer being charged. There's not enough evidence. You heard that information from us. We're giving you both sides of the story. And yeah, man, I think
best of luck to him.
Yeah, no, definitely best of luck to him, man. Definitely best of luck to him as he continues to try to live out his NBA dream. But yeah, beautiful people, that is what you call a great episode. Thank y'all kindly for tuning in.
You were so injured,
bro. Thank y'all kindly.
And
for
they wonder,
no,
before you get out of here, they wonder why when a player gets hurt and there's something in their eye, they stop the whole entire game in the NBA. Just saying. Serious.
He said,
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I done had like I done got my like people cut before playing basketball. I don't know what's wrong with my eye right now. But pray for my eye.
Yeah, prayers for you, bro.
But
Beautiful
now,
people, please pray.
yeah, please pray for my eye. Now, man, make sure you follow me at Emax Stats again for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Make sure you follow our brother Shinehard Izzo on Twitter and Instagram. He wasn't able to be in the building tonight, but we most definitely held it down for him. Continue to shine hard wherever y'all at out there in the world. Follow Black Peace. Keep running up, talking smoke, making sure our boy keep cutting checks on his spins, on his listens. Make sure you follow our brother. It's not just at Sedacious, it's at I am Sedacious. At I am Sedacious. Follow our brother at I am Sedacious, man. We will see you beautiful people next week.